Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Bommer LB4322-400-600. So the LB4322 basically means that this hinge is intended for replacement on PERMA-DOOR type doors and frames. And that is in direct relationship to the pattern of holes in the leaf. There is a link to the template above this video that will allow you to confirm that this is the right item. In addition to that, on this page is a link to a video that I made to help you determine which pattern you need for your brand of door. Bommer makes, I think, every one possible, and that video will help you do it. So, oh, and then also additionally there's a link to installation instructions, and we'll go over that a bit here. So then the next part of the part number is the 400. The 400 means it's 4 inches wide and 4 inches tall. And then the -600 means that it's the prime coat finish. This is just a hinge intended for paint. It's just a beige or very light gray prime. So it's a single acting spring hinge, as you can see. The link to the instructions will tell you how to set the tension. It's very simple. It'll include the hinge will include a tension rod, which is just a piece of steel, tempered steel, and then a pin here. There's two because in this package there are 2 hinges, although you can order them in any quantity. You basically insert the tension rod into one of the holes in the top of the hinge here, and then you crank it over and you insert a pin into one of those holes that you see here. That's how you set the tension. It is important to follow the guidelines Bommer has regarding the door width and, more importantly, the door weight on these. Doors up to 85 pounds, 2 spring hinges and 1 standard hinge is acceptable. Up to 110 pounds, 3 spring hinges would be recommended. I'm a fan of having all spring hinges, and it's partially because all 3 spring hinges, because you don't have to then overtax the spring inside of here. You don't have to crank it as far otherwise as you would. These springs are they're not serviceable, so if the spring snaps, you'll have to replace the hinge, which is not very common. And actually, the only time I really hear of it is if somebody has really over tensioned the spring way beyond what it's used for, or what it's intended to be used for. Maximum size is 3 foot by 7 foot. The gauge of this, will work with something between 85 thousandths and 109 thousandths. The pivoting axis, the imaginary line that goes through the hinge barrel, is compatible with the use of a regular full mortise hinge. So if you were using 2, obviously you'd need to use a 3rd hinge. Bommer products are not always the least expensive, and they're not always the most readily available, but they are the only hinge that's 100% American made, and that's something that both that Bommer certainly is very proud of, and I am too. As of this date, it's a 100% American-made hinge, and always well worth the cost and well worth the wait. If you have any questions on the Bommer LB4322-400-600 or any other Bommer product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.